Well, let's just say this. What I want to do today, we're talking, and you do this during the next week. You say to yourself, you know what? I think I'll take Johnny up on that. I'm going to look at Leviticus chapter 1 through 7. I'm going to see what's in there. You're going to really be surprised. It's going to be the means by which, the instructions and the means by which God extends His grace in all these different sacrifices. How many sacrifices? How many feasts? Well, if you want to know how much mercy and grace God has, guess what? You need to familiarize yourself with how many offerings that are made for the sins that were committed by these people. And once you see the amount of times that God forgives them and the amount of feasts and offerings, like national offerings and national reminders that He has, you'll see that God is a very gracious individual. And He wants you to have all of that. He wants to extend this mercy to you because He is gracious. Look at this. For the grace of God that bringeth salvation hath appeared to all men, Titus 2:11, teaching us. That's what rules are. Rules are the means by which you obtain mercy and grace. You want to fight with Titus 2:11? Go ahead. Well, that's the gospel. It doesn't matter if it's the gospel or if it is the law of Moses. The law of Moses is God's gracious extension of how to live the absolutely best life possible until Christ comes on the scene. It is the means by which the entire world knew that Jesus was going to come out of the Jewish nation. That's what we taught last week. If you missed our episode last week, you need to go back and get it. And particularly, if you get on YouTube, go forward till the time that you see me in the pulpit again, because I do a lesson from the pulpit where I show why it was so important to have these laws associated with different kinds of food, different kinds of meats. I'm not going to go through that. I'm just going to tell you, it will make you realize that this is exactly how God made this nation great. It is how God kept them in place. It is how God proved that they were, in fact, the bearers of the information by which you would recognize the Messiah. And the crowning verse is John 4:22. Jesus tells the Samaritan woman, listen, your fathers may think that this mountain over here is where you're going to worship, but salvation is of the Jews. That doesn't mean the Jews are going to save you. It just means that salvation was coming through them, not the Samaritans, and the worship place was Jerusalem, but the day is coming, and now is, he said, when you don't worship in Jerusalem, nor in this other mountain. God is a spirit, and they that worship him in spirit and in truth. And guess what? Truth is where God's grace is found. Now, 7 chapters explaining mercy and grace. That's exactly what these wonderful rules and the information is. Now, y'all, we're going to enjoy this. I'm saying it's ahead of us. We're going to enjoy this once we get this laid out this way. How are you liking it so far? And so when you go back and read it that way, it has a purpose. Like it's you get to compartmentalize it. Oh, so that is what God is doing. Yes, He's telling you, I have set all of this up so that you can see how many times I want the children of Israel to go through these processes that make them clear, that convince them that I am merciful and I am a gracious God, and here's my mercy being extended, and you're forgiven. Now, let's go back. So, chapter 10, verse 1, we're there. We were in 9. It's the 8th day. They've been 7 days. You might say quarantined. They're going through the process of being hallowed and sanctified. Exodus 29:1 is where it was explained to Moses the first time. Now you're doing it a year later. 7 days, and you've got it done. It's on the 8th day. And now, chapter 10, we're ready for worship. And guess what? Here we go. Nadab and Abihu, the sons of Aaron, took either of them his censer and put fire therein and put incense thereon and offered strange fire before the Lord.